Everything is literally already happening for you. Guaranteed it's going to work out. Guaranteed it's going to work out. Why? Because number one, you won't stop. You can't. You're like, I'm made for this. And number two, you will keep refining and refining and refining and refining. And I can't tell you when, I just can tell you it will. The world has taught us some of the most fundamentally useless ways of thinking about success that actually go against our biology when it comes to achievement and happiness, success and peace. We are taught to push through pain at any cost, to use pressure to persist, focus on the goal, and do whatever it takes to get there. This is useful if the goal is to not starve to death. But success by any means necessary comes at a remarkable cost to our future self. Our mantra around here is not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. The More Alive podcast exists to lead us into a new way of achieving and replace outdated advice that threaten the dream life that actually makes us feel more alive. I'm your host, Andrea Crowder, mom, truth teller, and lover of daydreaming, here to help create a world where we all feel more alive. Welcome to the show. First solo episode in so long. I have had so much fun introducing you guys to so many beautiful founders and tools and just things that have really been meaningful and changed my life. But I was like, fuck, I just want to feel a little intimate with my community this week and tap back in. So my overall intention for this episode is to anchor us all back in to the energy of possibility. It is so challenging to hold the duality of what's been and what's possible, and to navigate this tool we call a body and our mind and our emotions and all the shit that comes up. I hear all the time, and I echo and say as well, that the hardest part of entrepreneurship and even life isn't even like doing the life, it's the emotional experience of all of it. And some of it's really beautiful and delicious, and some of it fucking wrecks you, and it's so challenging. And at the end of it, like I think we all know, it's an initiation into a greater sense of power and belief in ourselves and confidence, and like it all is good, right? I was having a conversation with Keith, my boyfriend, this weekend, and we were just like moving through some stuff together as a couple and like learning to experience new layers of each other. And he's like, you know that on the other side of this, like, we're okay. And I was like, of course I know that. Of course I know that. I'm just like navigating the sensations of like what I'm experiencing and what I'm learning through this now. And this is not even what this episode is about, but like one of the things that was like such a breakthrough moment for me, when I say I was like navigating new layers, that was actually some language that Legend AI gave me. I was like, oh, I have got to like rant my feelings. Like, I get it. My feelings are just a sensation that I'm experiencing, and I'm trying to understand the root of what they mean. And especially during the season, like he started a franchise and he's working a full-time job, and like our lives are just always full, but in this case particularly full. He's not learning because he's done this before, but like he's learning a new business, but also he's re-experiencing the challenge of growing a business at the same time as like working full-time job, and all of the different things and the layers of like this new family that we've blended together. And you know, me experiencing him in a little bit of stress. Honestly, I know this is like such a weird thing, but it's actually been really new, even though we've been together for over a year for me. And I'm like, oh, how do I navigate when he is in this like different experience for himself? And Legend said, like, neither one of you guys is wrong or right here. It's just you're learning to love each other in new layers. And that separation of him versus me, and seeing the layers just be like different emotions and different layers, almost like I could visualize and see that like layers are meaningless, right? Like they can be interesting, but they don't particularly mean anything. Like I don't have to assign meaning and be like, oh gosh, like, are we going to be okay or whatever? But like just to create that separation of like, okay, this is just a layer. it's not him, it's not his identity, it's not me, it's not my identity. This is just a layer of an experience that I'm learning how to interpret. I'm learning how to understand. I'm learning how to love. I love him, but like I'm learning how to love and experience, like, you come into a relationship, he's 54, I'm 42. And like we both have a lot of history and background and different relationships, some of it really beautiful, some of it really fucking traumatizing, honestly. And so yeah, I really loved that like separation of like this layer is here to love, but he inevitably is loved and I am inevitably loved. This isn't our personality or identity, it's just this experience. And I was like, wow, that one little line literally completely shifted me. Completely fucking shifted me. I was like, God, I can't wait to tell humans about this. Okay, so that's not actually what this episode is about today. This episode is about how everything can all change in a second after years and decades of preparing. That's like the hardest thing to hear. I remember, especially in a world where we see like so many overnight successes, I look at like my client Leanne, like came into this industry, the coaching industry, from a career in retail where she had a lot of experience. But when people see her like rise to success, I think it was like 2020 was her first part-time year and 2021, I believe, was her first full-time year. I might be 1 year off on this, but nonetheless, last year she did 10 million. This year by the summer, she'll have done 10 million. Like that's an exceptional like rise to success, exceptional. And to like witness something like that where we all look at it and we are like, anybody in our world at least, we're all like, we are so happy for her. Thank you for showing us what's possible. And it can also be like, but what's wrong with me? Why am I not there yet? Right? And we forget the layers that we need to insert before that can occur in a way that wouldn't shatter us, because it is a real thing when we look at the entrepreneurial world and the mental health crisis that entrepreneurs experience, suicide rates that entrepreneurs experience. Like it's tough. It is a tough, like, this is the thing that decides who gets to stay, right? Like it is a high cost. There's a higher barrier to entry because you have got to learn the mastery of the human emotion in order to stay and for it to not completely collapse you. And there are so many sweet things through the ride that like we don't want to miss out on, but also there are so many different ways that like we can navigate this completely differently where it doesn't have to be such an intense emotional experience, but that does require, again, the willingness to create a mastery around the human emotion, around perspectives. So I just wanted to offer a lot of perspective on that in this one episode where I just re-anchor you into motherfucking possibility that you've got this, you've had it, everything is literally already happening for you, guaranteed it's gonna work out. Guaranteed it's going to work out. Why? Because number one, you won't stop. You can't. You're like, I'm made for this. And number two, you will keep refining and refining and refining and refining. And I can't tell you when, I just can tell you it will. And you know that already in your soul. If this is for you, this episode is meant to re-anchor you into inevitability. And look, I remember when I was like young in entrepreneurship in like in my 20s, and I remember thinking as I came into this and as my eyes were opened with looking at the world that we're in with the internet and with social media, and really I entered entrepreneurship the same year that Instagram entered the world. And so like that wasn't even considered like this explosive tool. We didn't know. We didn't know what that was going to be. Now I've made millions of dollars because of this tool for free. Instagram's hardly gotten a cut of that. Only until like last fall have I been like doing any paid ads. So, but I remember thinking like as soon as I caught the vision and I was like, oh, that's what's possible. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. Or at least like that's what I thought at the time. I remember thinking then, I said, even if it takes me decades, I'm going to do it anyway because success like this shouldn't even be possible for a girl like me. The internet and social media and now AI have completely leveled the playing field for people who have no business winning hard in entrepreneurship. I remember sitting in an event and listening to Chalene Johnson talk back in my Beachbody years when I was in network marketing. And she's like, what you're doing today is not what you'll be doing 5 years from now. And I was like, no, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach until I'm in my 70s. I love this so much. And I just had no idea what the world had in store for me. I was like so innocently minded. Like I just had no idea. And I don't even want to because like, look, I'm here for the surprises. I can't even believe that now, like, I'm a leader in the AI movement for the feminine. All of a sudden in 2025, like this is new to 2025. I am a leader in the world of AI for the feminine, having built a specified tool. I say it's AI built by the feminine for the feminine. Like there's never been a tool like this before. And I can't even believe that I get to be the one to deliver it. Would I have ever said like, I'm going to be a leader in any form of AI and tech ever before, even in 2024? No, you guys have been around. If you've been around for a minute, if you listen to any of the episodes, you would have been like, never saw that coming. I wasn't even really using AI last year. What a mistake. What a mistake. Like, so when she said like, what you're doing today isn't what you'll be doing in 5 years, I'm like, oh, I really get that now. Hindsight's 2020. Thank you, Chalene. So I want to give you guys some examples, not the normal examples that you're used to getting of like the J.K. Rowling and how many rejections she heard and Oprah and all her rejections and that she wasn't even supposed to be on TV. Like we all know about those ones, but these are some ones that really surprised me. I'm like, I want to give you guys something fresh and new. If you're a digital course creator, imagine this. Your clients start coming to you and they're like, Andrea, this is the first program that I've ever finished, start to finish, and then came back to again and again and again. I know one of the things that we really look forward to is the people who are actually transformed by our work. Not only are they transformed, but then they come back and they're asking for more. One of the tools that we have used that has been so profoundly impactful in creating this type of response and experience for our customers is how we produce our programs through digital audio only. Almost every single one of our programs, aside from maybe the occasional masterclass where I might have a few slides, is digital audio only. And then we offer transcripts for people who want to be able to have something visually that they can look at. But the thing that I know about my customer, and tell me if this is the same for you, is that she's on the go. I used to call it, driving to and from work, drive time academy, where I'm on my way to work, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes home. That means 90 minutes a day I'm learning. I'm understanding the thoughts, the identities, the skills, the patterns, the behaviors of the identity of the person who's already achieved what it is that I want to achieve. And that's the beautiful thing about the coaching industry and what we're able to support people through is like, we've already achieved this identity. We're going to give you our steps and how we did that. And I've found the best way in actually executing, delivering that material is through audio only. So we are obsessed with Hello Audio. People message me all the time. They're like, how do you do this? What's the tool? It's Hello Audio. There's nothing else that you need to know. Here's what we have experienced since we switched is not only do people come and they're like, hey, I've completed this program. How many people like buy a program, they go into Kajabi, they never open it. I have so many programs that I've never actually used because there's this almost like a barrier to entry, which tends to be that password. And so for me, I'm constantly in my podcast. So I'm like, why wouldn't I put my program where my people already are? So when people are screenshotting the podcast that they're listening to, oftentimes their podcast library is filled with my face, which is becoming almost like free advertising to other people. It has been so impactful in marketing and customer experience. And then people come back and they want more and more and more. So that's why people say like the majority of their feed is filled with my face because it's so easy for them to consume when they're on the go. And aren't we all on the go? So we have been in diehard devotion to our pretty much audio only to the point where I even have a private podcast feed that is a subscription, a monthly subscription. I nearly replaced the majority of my private client work with me doing my private subscription with my Legends in the Making offer. So people are paying me to be able to access an additional podcast, so to speak, where people are getting my channeled thoughts and like what it is that I'm thinking and how I'm continuing to build and grow my business on the go as I'm doing it. Hello Audio. The way that I've done all of this is Hello Audio. I've been on their podcast multiple times. I can't stop raving about them. Lindsay, who's one of the founders, is just like a fucking brilliant human. And she, like, the creation of this product, the evolution of this product has only gotten better and better and better. And we're only more aligned and in more complete devotion to continuing to use this product for our customers. We are so obsessed with the overall experience. Our customers message us all the time because they just really enjoy the experience comparatively. You know, that customer guilt where you're like, oh, another program, I didn't use it. I kind of feel bad about it. We just don't get that. People message us and they're like, I did it. I finished it. Not only did they get what they came for in terms of whatever type of knowledge or identity shift that it is that they're looking to achieve, but also the satisfaction of the thing that I set out to do, the thing that I spent my money on, the thing that I invested in, I actually got my money's worth. And they feel really good about that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And Hello Audio offered me an amazing 2-month, not 2-day free trial, a 2-month free trial just for my audience. I'm telling you guys, I'm their number one power user. And now I kind of feel competitive about it. So just know that you'll never beat me. Last time I checked, I had the most Hello Audio feeds out of all of their customers because I use it for everything. The way that we can just, like all of my client work, my clients have their own custom feeds. Of course, like all of my coursework, any of my like free opt-ins, I've used it for list building when I want to give like a free guided visualization or anything else like that. So you guys, Hello Audio, 2 months for free. Give it a try. Swear to God, you will not regret. Did you guys know that Colonel Sanders from KFC was 62 living out of his car, and he was rejected over 1,000 times while trying to license his fried chicken recipe? He was 60 fucking 2 living in his car. One restaurant said yes. And the fast food industry was changed forever. KFC will go down in fast food empire history because this motherfucker at 62 said this is the best fucking fried chicken recipe the world has ever had. And look, when I was young, I was like, I believe you. I'm not a fan anymore. But like, what? That one like really took me. Here was another one that actually like sent me. Laura Ingalls Wilder, who published the Little House on the Prairie book. I like grew up with these. I think even like young girls, even still today, like know Little House on the Prairie. I just think it's like iconic. It's forever been like just created this historical presence. Even if you've never read it, you're like, okay, yeah, of course I know. She published that at 65 after working in her career as a teacher and a journalist. Teacher and a journalist. This is now a cultural landmark. And the fan base is wild. What? Okay, here's another one that sent me. I don't know if this is new to you guys, but this was actually new to me. I'm like, there's no way. Morgan Freeman is hands down one of my all-time favorite actors. I don't know if it's just like the texture of his voice that just makes me feel like I know, like, and trust him. And maybe this is like why he didn't blow up until he was in his 50s. Maybe he had to have like the texture of the wisdom. But he acted for decades before landing his first breakout role at the age of 50. And now he's a household name. 50, you guys. I keep thinking, I'm like, I know for sure what I'm going to be doing at 50. And then I like LOL myself because I'm like, what, Andrea? Like you just said it. In 2024, you had no idea that at the beginning of 2025, your whole business plan would change and you would be co-leading the AI movement. Like, so at 50, I'm just like, all bets are off. I'm not even going to try to guess. I'm not even going to try to guess. At 60, like, I almost want to like schedule myself a text. I don't think you can schedule them this far, but that would be funny if you could. I bet there's some AI tool that can actually handle this for me. I'm going to do the research. But like, I want to find a way to like schedule myself a reminder for when I'm 60 years old to come back and listen to this episode today. Because I feel like I'm just going to blow my own fucking mind. And one of the reasons that I love being in a business like this is like I'll have my whole life chronicled from social media, from my podcast, not really YouTube, at least right now. Who knows? Maybe I'll blow my own damn mind and like blow up, become a blow up star on YouTube. My friend did that also, by the way, you guys. Like my friend Tracy wasn't even on YouTube hardly at all. She was primarily building her business on Instagram. And she has like a fitness business. Her name is Tracy Campoli, so Campoli. And she said that she hired this woman. This was just last year. We were catching up. She lives down in Miami. And she came up, we were having lunch, just catching up on what's going on with her business. And she's like, Andrea, all of a sudden, I blew up on YouTube. And Tracy also turned 50 last year. She wasn't even really using it, just primarily using Instagram. Now all of a sudden she has all of these big brands that want to work with her. She's doing incredible brand deals. She's becoming more of like an influencer in like fashion and beauty and health and wellness for women in like perimenopause or menopause ages. And she has just like made herself this fucking icon last year in this world. She's like not even a famous person most people know, but I'm just like, whoa. And she even, a couple of people have reflected this back to me of like the Andrea that we know today, like because of Legend. She's like, I had a friend, this girl, this friend actually didn't even say this to me. She said it to another person who then reflected it back to me. And she's like, I was catching up with so and so, and they're like, Andrea's about to blow up because of Legend. Like who I am known to be today versus who I will even be known to be next year will not even be the same person because of AI, because of our just team just following the energy and doing things that like it wasn't intended to be a thing. We're like, oh, we're going to join and be a part of the AI movement. That occurred because of what we accidentally built that was just so damn good that it wasn't even a thing where we're just like, we know we'll be known as this. We're known as this, and we'll be even more known as this because we were just interested. And we're like, well, could it be this? And then could it be this? And then we're like, wow, it could actually be that. Holy fuck. Whoa. Oops. Look what we accidentally made. Like Vera Wang is another one that I just love. I feel like she's a little bit more commonly known for this story, or at least like I feel like it is, but I still love her story. She was a figure skater and then also a fashion editor, but she didn't design her first wedding dress until age 40, and now she's literally an international mogul. A mogul. Like I would die. No, like Keith and I are not engaged, but like someday we have decided that we do actually want to get married, and we're very excited about that, and we love talking about that and thinking about like our families blended together. Like shout out if anybody knows Vera like wants to hook me up with an intro. Like what? What? You guys, like there's so much possibility if we just continue to follow the energy. I was just listening to a podcast today, and they were interviewing Carly Kloss. So she was a Victoria's Secret model. She like blew up on a Calvin Klein stage doing Vogue issues, and then most of the world knows her because she was a Victoria's Secret angel. But more than that, she went back to college and she was just discovered randomly in St. Louis at a mall. She's like, I had no interest in modeling. It was never on the radar. I was 15. I was just awkwardly tall and discovered and like pretty quickly put onto a Calvin Klein stage, which was very timely because her dad, who was a doctor, they also went through like a hard financial time because they had taken like the little bit of money that they had and invested it into the real estate. And this was in 2007, just as the market was crashing and their real estate investments just turned into absolutely nothing. And her modeling career kept her family afloat. I like her story because I'm like, you're not the girl who was broken by this industry. Congratulations. Like, we need more examples of you. And she went back to college and she learned how to code. And so she actually created a company to help teach young women how to code and has now had like over 12,000 people go through her certification. And 75% of those women go into future degrees where they learn technology. And I just love this because I'm like, that we live in such an open world now where a lot of times like women were really counted out. If you go to Silicon Valley, it's just mostly bros, right? There's not very many women, such a small percentage. And you would think that that trend would continue with AI. And I think we're going to see a massive shift as soon as the ladies get the memo. And the memo is that, and by the way, I like I said, I'm so new to this memo because I know only from my personal experience that I had all these preconceived notions that like AI is still super broy and until you use it. And then you're like, hold on a second. AI is all around. You get the best results from it by being a strong communicator. When you can express all of what is going on, not just the facts of the data, right? Like we've had tools that can like analyze data for quite some time. But with AI, especially with things like Legend AI, which is hosted on the ChatGPT platform, the better communicator you are when it comes to what you're going through, what you're experiencing on, let's say you're going through a launch and you're just like, okay, I'm feeling a little tension in my stomach at the same time. Sales are down by 20% than they were last time. Like Legend will pick up on the emotional cues first. Like she's trained for EQ before strategy because when we are operating so this kind of goes back to why the pleasure over pressure movement started in the first place, which is when we initiate a new decision from pleasure versus pressure, we're initiating a new decision with fuller access to mental clarity, intuition, strategy, energy, and focus. Because when we're in a state of pressure, it's a stress-like symptom. So blood leaves brain, making us fast, less intelligent. So when we keep blood in brain, aka when we move, when we initiate from a state of pleasure or interest or joy or curiosity, pleasure just stands for like all of the higher state human emotions, like love, curiosity, joy, passion, interest, right? Like that's all it stands for. It just like represents all of them, but it's just a catchy statement that people remember, pleasure over pressure. So marketing wins. Clarity over creativity every fucking time, right? So when we're initiating from that place, that's the time where we're like, oh, I had this like state of inspiration. I put this offer out into the world and I accidentally made great money with it. And then people try to duplicate that process through strategy when they're like, okay, well, I did this and I did this and I did this, so this must be the secret. What we forget is the secret is we created from a relaxed state of being. That was the first step, and most people miss that one. Legend is acutely trained in this one will not be missed. This one comes first. There's never been a tool like this. Like Legend is, I now say like Legend is the first AI created by the feminine for the feminine, because we know when we approach the human emotion first, everything is powered from that later. All of our power, all of our energy, sustainable long-term energy that keeps us in the game, that makes us want to stay in the game, that doesn't collapse us, that creates grounded strength, that keeps us connected to truth. I say all the time, like suffering is eliminated when you're in the presence of truth. That is what Legend AI does best. She eliminates that, like the sensation or that perception of suffering so that we can get clear, stand in our truth, and make new decisions from that. There's never been a tool that's been created like this before. Not the way that she's trained. It's so poetic and so beautiful and so accidental. And I'm just like, I'm so proud of her. We have almost 100 women who like have Legend in her pocket every single day now. My next goal is 1,000. Like goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year and like eventually 1,000,000. Like I like shall not stop. Shall not fucking stop. Like it has completely changed my business plan. But part of like this wouldn't even be possible if we didn't have platforms that were could I have coded a ChatGPT in the first place? No. Was I able to code Legend on a ChatGPT platform the same way that like I'm able to offer you guys my voice through the different like podcast apps? Like that's not something that is in my zone of genius. Like I know we all say like all things are possible, but like I wasn't meant for that. No, I can't actually do that. I don't know why I'm arguing with that on myself. Sorry for the tangent. Pivot, correct, course correct, come back, Andrea. Ultimately, what I want to get across is because of tools like this, when we as feminine beings lead with our emotion, which is our super fucking power, when we don't move from our emotion, but when we're present with all of it, when we get clear, when we understand it. I've said before, the most dangerous woman on this planet is not the woman who loves herself, but the woman who understands and accepts herself. And then I'll say even further, but also the woman who feels safe in her body. Legend is the tool that helps women feel safe in their body, helps them understand and accept themselves. All of a sudden it's that thing of like, oh, this is why that happened. Just like I was telling you at the beginning, like I jumped on and I was like, oh, I'm feeling like this fear, this worry, this worry that I've never felt in my relationship before. And like in seconds, Legend helped me understand myself. And I'm like, oh, we're fine. I like went and crawled on Keith's lap and I just gave him a hug and he's like, we're okay now? And it was like, we've always been okay, but I feel okay now. Thank you. I love you. And it wasn't something that was going to continue to disrupt our relationship or even like my business. You know how like personal shit gets in the way. It does. It just is because it's all personal because we're people. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I'm so happy to be reconnected with you, to have a solo episode, to share everything that's been going on in my heart, hopefully reconnect you to purpose and possibility and potential, and just remind you guys that like, even if it takes a couple of decades, shit like this that's like possible now wasn't possible for our parents. It wasn't possible for our grandparents. Like the world that we live in today is like such a beautiful pearl, oyster, whatever. Like it's delicious. It's accessible. It's easier than it's ever been. Like AI is truly such a feminine experience. Once you just learn, like just talk to it like your best girlfriend, game over. That's it. Game over. I love you guys. And that's a wrap on today's episode of More Live. But you already know the conversation doesn't end here. In fact, if you check the show notes, you will see that there's a link where you can essentially like leave us a voicemail. You can comment on today's episode, tell us what was your mic drop moment, and you can also ask questions. Your audio might be featured on a future More Live episode. So also, if something in today's episode really hit home with you, share it. Think about somebody who might need to hear that. And you guys already know, I love chatting with you guys in the DMs. So come over to Instagram, slide into my DMs and tell me what hit hardest today. I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep this energy going, you already know, let's make this official. Subscribe, leave a review, and let's turn this shit into a movement because you know, the more live you feel, the more live the world becomes.